Chapter 13, Frostbite by Wim Hof. Soon after the dermatologist told me that I had done irreparable damage to my foot, I was given a box full of medication. He had said that the damage was inflicted on the front part of my left foot and advised that I take the medication to keep it dry. He had also emphasized that it was very important to keep my foot from getting wet. By the time I returned to Amsterdam, the color of my foot had turned to a dark, greenish brown shade. It was a devastating sight. I couldn't sleep. I sat in my living room thinking about what could be done. I knew there had to be a solution to my problem. I wasn't going to just accept that my foot was irreparably damaged. No, I'm not going to take it, I thought. I was so frustrated that it just filled me with rage. Something inside of me began to fight from that moment on. I was thinking about what the doctor had said about not getting my foot wet when a strange idea came over me. Cow balm. It's that grease that they apply to cure a cow's irritated udders. Even though it's the opposite of what the dermatologist advised, I thought, if it could help the irritated skin of a cow, it might be able to help my foot. It was at that point my fight to heal began. With a newly found determination, I lay down in my bed and slept like a rock. And the next morning, one of my friends went to the store for me and purchased the cow balm. I began to grease my foot and left no area dry. I felt that it was the right thing to do, despite the doctor's orders. I visualized myself getting better and stayed very attentive to my foot. A couple of days later, television cameras came by to put the Iceman's terrible-looking foot on television. On the outside, it was green and black, but on the inside, the healing process was beginning. While tending to my foot, I thought about what I had been able to achieve. With the help of the Discovery Channel, I was now known as the guy who ran a half marathon beyond the polar circle, barefoot in the snow. Looking back on my success that day, I am reminded of an old story I once heard, the story of three brothers. Over a century ago, in the northern part of Finland, there lived three brothers. There was a sauna in a wooden hut near a large frozen lake 10 kilometers from their village. Every day, the three brothers would travel out to the sauna and enjoy its warmth. One day, a sudden rush of flames interrupted their relaxing sauna time. Something had caused a fire inside of the wooden hut. They looked around but couldn't find a way to extinguish the flames. The three brothers escaped from their wooden hut with only their lives. The fire had consumed their clothes and belongings. It was a large fire that could be seen from afar. It was beautiful and warm, yet, of course, tragic and unexpected. Naked, the three brothers were forced to run 10 kilometers through the snow in the freezing cold of the night to get home to their village. The story of these three brothers shows that my marathon was nothing spectacular. The barefoot run was just my way of showing the world that we're all capable of doing more than we had previously thought possible. It is a memorable story, and so's mine. News of my achievement spread all over the media. Despite my damaged foot, I was a real hero in the eyes of the public. I didn't care about the media attention. My focus was on healing my foot as fast as possible. Back in December, right before I started training for the half marathon, I received a phone call from a man who was preparing for an expedition on Mount Everest. He was the team leader and wanted to know if I was interested in the ascent. Their idea was for me to climb Mount Everest wearing only shorts and sandals. It was another opportunity to do a challenge that no one had ever done before. I was very interested and therefore had accepted the offer. What I didn't know at the time was that just a month later, I would have irreparable damage done to my foot. Initially, the sponsoring for the expedition just wasn't going well. Having just completed a world record and receiving a lot of media attention related to the frostbite, the money started flooding in from all directions. 50,000 euro here, 50,000 euro there. It was flowing in and coming together. This, however, did not change the condition of my foot. I had 3 months to recover. The dermatologist told me that there was no chance that I would be able to make that climb, or even have slightly recovered by then. I decided to throw away all the medication and increase my fighting spirit to heal. I started to grease up my foot on a daily basis. I remained optimistic that it would help my foot get better. Now, despite everything the doctor said, 1 month later, my foot was healed. The dead, callous skin had vanished and new, healthy skin turned my foot into a new one. It was like the injury had never happened. To help promote the Everest expedition and the sponsors for the event, I actually stood in a box full of ice as a publicity stunt. My event appeared in newspapers, in magazines, on television, and even in the marketplace, where huge banners hung to advertise the expedition. It was all part of the game, and I was just along for the ride. Eventually, the day to depart for Everest finally arrived.